Welcome to Pine Thicket Philosophies, the non-podcast podcast where we do everything the podcast experts tell you not to do. If you are looking for a finely polished and professional podcast crew, well, folks, we ain't it. But if you want to virtually join a group of old outdoorsmen from southern Appalachia, as we sit around the fire and talk about any one of our favorite topics, we'll pour a cup of coffee, pull up a chair, and enjoy. We are going to be doing a special, I don't guess you'd call it a special, but a podcast. Josh and Misty and Shannon are joining us tonight, and we're going to be talking to you guys a little bit about our little group, I guess you'd call it, the Jumpin Armadillos Dinner Club. And we got started, and Finn is joining us now.
You forgot to introduce Finn. Finn, say hello. Say hello.
Finn will join in.
Yeah, Finn will join in. So a little history on the dynamics of this group, I guess you'd call it. Shannon and Josh went to kindergarten through 12th grade together. In 9th grade, they came to the school that I attended for high school. And then Shannon and I started dating. And then Josh and Misty started dating right after high school. And so we've all known each other for many, many years. I taught their daughter from the time she was in 7th grade till she graduated high school. Helped coach track and cross country. And then after our kids had graduated, we all started going out to eat. And we take, a trip or two a year.
Okay, can I interrupt? It was not after. It was after their kid graduated. Yeah. They came to watch the kids run cross country.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
The very first time we ate. That was our very first Jumpin Armadillos.
That was probably
trip. We didn't know what it was at the time. We didn't know what we were getting into.
We went top of the river.
Yeah. Was it the first year that Micah, after she had graduated?
Year, y'all
so it was that next season we come watch Jace run at that one particular race.
Like Oxford or something.
Yeah, it was Oxford.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so through the years, there's no telling how many trips we have. I mean, there's no way of knowing how many times. I can't even imagine how many times we've been out to eat.
No, there's no way.
That's our cat jumping around. Sorry. We have gone on several trips together. So we will.
Lots of memories.
Lots and
years?
lots of memories.
How many years is that?
Nearly 7 or 7 years.
7 years. Yep.
You figure we pretty much went nearly every week over those 7 years. We have skipped a few when y'all been on vacation, we've been on vacation, or just some reason we couldn't go. But there's been weeks we've doubled up.
Yeah, or we just met in the middle of the week.
Middle of the week.
Or something.
So we've probably
at Lamont's.
Remember, at least 7 years, about 50 times a year. So
yeah,
that gives you an idea.
That's minimum.
That gives you an idea how many times we've possibly went out and ate.
I would say that it would be
broken bread together many times.
I would say it would be more than that, because many times we would meet in the middle of the week and eat at Lamont's.
Yeah. We needed to just shake
or
off
just run to Cracker Barrel.
the week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The midweek.
And then sometimes we've ate on Fridays and Saturdays, or Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
That's true.
Refrigerator running.
And it's very loud through these headphones. That's crazy. Okay. All right. So I sent out a list of questions earlier, and to give them some time to think about what they wanted to say. Excuse me. And so I guess we will start here with Shannon and just go around. So Shannon.
Okay, I can do this.
What's your favorite trip that we've been on?
It's a combination.
Okay.
Charleston.
Oh, I forgot about that trip.
I told you would remember stuff as we started talking. The first trip was my favorite Charleston trip. But when I told you that we needed to think about something that stood out, walking on the bridge. I forgot the name of the bridge.
Ravenel.
Ravenel Bridge at night was, I'll never forget that. That was awesome. So that's the reason I had to include the second one as well as the first one.
I found the video just the other day of I was filming and you were literally laying on the sidewalk, rolling, laughing at Madison trying to skip.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, on the bridge?
Yes.
She could not, that girl, bless her.
That was funny.
Yeah, that's another thing. We've eaten a lot and we've laughed a lot.
Yes. All right, Misty, what about you? What's your favorite trip?
My favorite trip is the Kentucky trip.
I knew you were going to say that one.
That was my favorite because I guess all the Christmas lights and, let's see, the Christmas lights and going to the elk and bison thing.
Range.
Preserve.
Yeah, and eating, and Jace having to pee the whole time. The whole time we were there, Jace had to pee. He had to pee.
That's the story of our life, so I don't remember that.
Yeah.
And eating at Culver's for the first time
Yep.
for me.
That's the first time I'd ever eaten there,
Yeah.
too. Or we.
And all the Christmas lights and eating at Patty's for the pork chop and the strawberry butter.
You got one of mine.
And the way that they were dressed and going land between the lakes in the 1850
Oh, yeah, that was a lovely,
whatever settlement.
lovely place.
I told
Was it
Brad we,
1850?
I told Brad we
1850,
needed to remember
1857.
the actual name so he could put
Right.
them in the show notes.
Oh, yeah.
But it was Patty's 1880s settlement in Grand Rivers, Kentucky.
Was it 1880s or 1850s?
Well, this says 1880s on here.
Yeah,
Well, that's
Patty's
18.
was
But
1880s,
Patty's was
wasn't
the
it?
restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then the
I think it was Home Place 1850s
let me
or
look it
something
up right
like
quick so
Yeah,
we can
I think
so
it
people can
was.
go to that place.
And
Let me just pull
we
Google
like
Maps
we
up.
crossed. How many states did we go on that trip? Was it 5 or 6?
Well,
I couldn't remember that. part.
Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee,
Illinois.
Kentucky,
Missouri.
Missouri,
Why did we go to Georgia?
interstate going up. No, we didn't, did we?
No,
We didn't go to
Nashville.
Georgia because we went through Nashville.
Yeah, we went through Nashville.
And I
So
hated all the
Alabama,
bridges,
Tennessee,
but that was my favorite trip. And I think it's because the Christmas
Kentucky,
lights,
Illinois.
the Christmas
Missouri.
town, and going to Bumpus Mills to eat
Oh my
Bumpus
gosh,
Mills.
yes.
in the middle of
Nowhere.
nowhere. It's worse than Rosalie.
Oh yeah.
Bumpus Mills,
Bumpus
Tennessee.
Mills.
Oh yeah, Bumpus Mills. Look it up.
Was it in Tennessee or was it? I couldn't
Yeah,
remember
we
if it
had
was
come back.
back.
You
Bumpus
might not
across
be able to
Kentucky.
find it, but you can try to look it up.
We had come back down into
It's
Tennessee.
beautiful scenery.
And those people were very nice to us because we came at closing time.
We were
Yeah.
starved to death because we've been on the road.
All
Oh,
right,
there it is, Bumpus Mills.
What about you, Josh? What's your favorite?
Well, I mean, y'all have made me remember other stuff, but I thoroughly enjoyed our dam road trip when we went and visited all the dams that we could. And we did miss a few, but I really, really enjoyed that trip because it was just a lot of new scenery.
Yep, that was a cool trip. I think it was 21 dams that we visited in 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one might ask why we see so many dams. Why do we see so many dams?
We'll get to that.
We're weird.
We'll get to that.
Are you going to get to Jumpin Armadillos? You know, where we got our name?
Eventually.
Okay.
Eventually.
You can edit that out then.
Okay. My favorite trip was probably the Land Between the Lakes trip as well, because I enjoyed the Home Place 1850s. Just getting to drive through the Land Between the Lakes, I thought was really cool, and I've been wanting to go back ever since, and go camp and carry the boats and the mountain bikes and all that stuff. There was something else about the Land Between the Lakes that I liked.
don't-
I
I
like seeing all the rivers merge together.
Oh, yeah, all the
All the-
Yeah, that was
Confluences.
so neat. The confluences.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we saw the Cumberland and the Tennessee
It was
confluence,
yeah.
then the Tennessee and the Ohio, then the Ohio and the Mississippi.
Yeah.
And you could see a difference.
Yes.
Oh yes,
You could see
I said
where
it was
the-
it was a line. Yes.
Says 1850s is currently closed.
Yeah, I looked it up. The home place, a living history farm, 1850s.
Yep, temporary closed.
It may just be closed for the winter.
And it might be. Well, I don't know. We went in Thanksgiving, but it might have closed like for
Yeah.
January, February time. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about it, Shannon? Do you have a least favorite trip?
I couldn't think of a least favorite trip because everywhere we go, we manage to make it fun somehow. But if I had to put something, I would have to put I forgot the name of the dam. But it was close to that. Devil's Tail.
Oh,
yeah.
you talking about Fontana Dam?
That
When we rode the Tail of the Dragon?
I got so sick.
When we
Yes.
drove the Tail of the Dragon?
The dam trip was great, but that portion of the dam trip was miserable for me because the light was flickering through the trees and everything about it made me sick. So that particular part of that trip, I did not like. The dam was cool, but the part of that trip. So I can't say a whole trip. Not even our last one was bad to me because we've got good stories.
All right, Misty, what about you? Least favorite trip?
Okay. I do have one, but I love to loafer, so no trip is a bad trip because I just love going everywhere and seeing different things. But I did put my least favorite was the boat retrieval in Blowing Rock, North Carolina.
Only because I had already said something
It
about
wasn't, no, I already knew that
You
was
already
my
knew
least,
it?
yes.
That was mine too.
It wasn't horrible considering we had a lot of time to rest,
Well,
eat,
we had a lot of
walk
fun.
hills, and seeing all the pretty views of the mountain. But that was my least favorite trip because I had no idea how I was going to get home and when I was going to get home.
It was a
And
bit.
we were not prepared.
It was
We were not
stressful.
We were not prepared for.
We didn't have
multiple
enough
day
clothes,
Well, it was just a one-nighter that turned into, what, two?
Three.
Three?
and none of us had our computers to even try to find a way to get a sub. So we had to use the hotel computer.
Oh my gosh.
Although it was a good trip, it was fun.
We have memories even.
But-
bad adventures make good
Yeah.
stories.
It does.
So that one
There-
was
I-
definitely lived up to that.
I'm glad you
Motto.
said that, Shannon, because I've already been thinking about saying it, but I'm glad you said
Yeah.
it.
All right. What about you, Josh? Is that
That's I think that's what I'd put for my worst trip was the first attempt to get boats.
first attempt to get boats? That was stressful. I have something totally different. It wasn't and I tell the story a lot. I've got actually two of them. The first one, and I tell the story a lot, and I use this story a lot, is the time that we were headed to Birmingham to eat, and we were in about Collinsville, and
Yeah.
and it was a great trip. The only thing was that last hour about whooped my tail. But we were on our way to Collinsville, or we were nearly to Collinsville,
Birmingham.
going down I-59 south, and we were about 35 minutes south of Fort Payne, and we were trying to decide where we wanted to go. And we had just taken off toward the Birmingham area. And I think it was Misty that said it was. And Misty goes, man, if we'd have been thinking, we could have been in.
We could have went.
That
to
was loud.
We could have went to the
Sorry.
Smokies.
Misty said, man, if we'd have been thinking, we could have just gone to the Smokies. And I said, Josh, how long would it take us to get to the Smokies from here? And I'll never forget. He said, 3 hours and 27 minutes. And everybody, we all just kind of looked at each other. And I said, okay, fine. If there's a place to turn around before we get to Collinsville.
No, you said in the next 20 minutes.
By 2 o'clock.
By 2
By
o'clock.
2 o'clock. By 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, the words hadn't even, they were still echoing around the Tahoe. And it was one of those emergency media, and turned around, and Shannon looks at me and says, I dare you. I was like, oh, don't dare me. So we whipped around in the media and took off. And we drove to
Gatlinburg. Oh.
parked,
On a whim.
ate supper, walked down the strip, walked back up the strip, got in the truck, and drove back home.
We ate at the Cherokee Grill.
Cherokee Grill, yes. And
Was it or did we eat at Connors? Not Connors, but Calhoun's.
Calhoun's,
We ate at
yeah.
Calhoun's.
I was you was a C word.
It was right across from the Cherokee Grill.
Yeah. And so, and then that last hour on that drive home, was rough. And then my other one was, and it was just a rough drive. The day that they opened the beaches back up after COVID,
yeah.
it was just a rough drive. It was a great trip.
Great trip.
But we left here, drove 6 hours to Dolphin Island, sat on the beach for 2, maybe 3 hours, and then turned around and drove 6 hours
took
back
the dog.
home.
I mean,
Took the dog,
just
yeah,
loaded
because
up,
we just
kids, dog went.
Yeah.
Because
because
it was after COVID.
yeah, COVID. It was
Beaches was open.
Beaches were open, but no restaurants were open. No indoor gas station, convenience stores, and no hotels. So we just drove down, turned around, and drove back home.
And we weren't the only ones happy to have the beach open because there was a ton of people there and everybody was friendly and in
Yep.
a good
Oh,
mood.
yeah.
And you could tell everybody was so glad to see somebody else.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I didn't put that as my worst trip. That was rough. But I did think about that. But it was a good trip in that.
It was a great trip. It was just, it was tiring
the drive,
for me.
The drive
Yeah.
was rough. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're the driver, so I can see
Yeah.
you saying that.
I can too.
All right. Wow, that was loud. Sorry about that. Funniest moment, Shannon.
Y'all, can we pick out a funniest moment? I don't know. There's just so many.
I couldn't pick out one because
What about that thunder? You hear
No,
that?
I'm hearing the thunder. I can't
Is that-
remember.
Was it thunder?
It was thunder.
Uh,
Did you not hear the rain?
No, not through these.
No, yeah, you can't, can you?
I know there's so many more than this, but this is one that's sticking out in my head for some reason. Lettuce at Bravo.
oh my gosh,
Obviously, it was one of the funniest because that's what I thought of.
There's so many because every one of our videos were cackling about something, and I really that was funny.
The lettuce was
Also,
funny.
Grandfather Mountain was funny, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
that's
we're
a
going to
little
be nice.
that's a little sensitive.
which
That was really funny.
I have perfect wording for that.
Okay, but lettuce.
But you-
I don't remember exactly how the conversation went, so somebody's gonna have to plug in.
Talking
right
about the
here.
lettuce?
The lettuce. Yeah.
Well, y'all wasn't super hungry, you and Misty, and y'all liked that same salad, the
Romano
house-
chicken
the-
salad
No,
at
no,
Bravo.
wasn't that one is the Delicasa, whatever
Oh,
it is.
okay, yeah.
But it's the Romano.
It's the same
'cause it
thing
has the
without
Yeah.
on it.
chicken.
But y'all was like, I don't really want a whole one. And one of y'all said, well, could we share it? And I think you said, will they let us? And Misty said, I think there'll be enough lettuce.
And me and Josh are just looking at each other like, what in the world? And the sad thing is, y'all keep going.
And we was
Keep
like,
talking.
I
back
did
and
not
forth.
keep talking. I
it's like, did they really just say that?
Because our funniest stories are when we mess up with our words. But that, just the way she looked at me. I'm in that lettuce.
I'm sure they will.
I was wondering why you didn't think they had enough
I'm so
lettuce.
confused.
That was hilarious.
That was a really good one.
All right. Misty, what about you? What was your funniest moment?
Mine was I can't think of just one, but we all have mispronounced a word, a song, or a quote, and we always get tickled, and I laugh at everything. So, but mine was the woman TikToking at Grandfather Mountain.
So that was the other one. And I've just thought of another one. If nobody mentions it, I'm going to have to pop in again.
Because she was putting it all out there. She had the lights up and everything. And as soon as I got out of the car, I lost it. I totally lost
You
it.
can watch the video.
Yes. It
was pretty
of
bad.
Misty. I mean, we were trying really hard to be good, but she looked so silly. She just looked so silly. Oh, that was. I was going to try to be good, but Misty.
I put it nicely.
She did.
Yeah, somewhat.
All right, Josh, what about you? I
Well-
know, I guarantee I'm about to get thrown under the bus here.
Yeah, if he doesn't mention it, I'm going to.
Oh, he's already forgot. He don't know.
Oh, man. Well, I was going to say the lettuce because that was pretty funny. And then when Shannon was saying something about us misquoting stuff, and Misty did, that one time when we was having a discussion about how you say archipelago, because Shannon said it was archipelago. So we got Siri to answer it, and she's like, archipelago. And to watch Shannon just melt in defeat. And now I'm curious of what I have forgot about Brad that would be such a good one.
Can I say it? I would like to have some beagonettes.
Oh, yes.
Beagonettes.
Oh, beagonettes. And it goes back to the mispronunciation of a word.
And the sad thing
And he
is,
just kept saying
he was
it
the one that did
over
it.
and over
And then I got it stuck in my head. And when I went to order beignets, I just looked at the guy and said, beagonettes. Because I knew it wasn't right.
That was hilarious.
Stop. Oh, he couldn't stop.
And the look on the guy's face was even better. Because he was just like, what?
Especially because we're all sitting there dying laughing.
Yeah.
He was going,
Yeah, it was hard for me to stay in my chair. That was. He was like stuck on repeat and he couldn't stop, and his eyes kept getting bigger.
He's like, I want to say it right, but the same words keep coming out.
All right, so my funniest moment comes to us thanks to Misty.
Wait, now I'm the quietest one on these trips.
Oh, but-
Why do everybody laugh at me? But it's okay.
This comes from Misty and her Dramamine drunken
Oh,
stupor.
yes.
So let me set this story up. We're supposed to be getting on the ferry to go across the bay, and it's rough.
The Dolphin Island Ferry.
The Dolphin Island Ferry, and it's pretty rough. So Misty takes Dramamine to try to keep from getting sick on the ferry. We get there, the ferry's closed, so we drive around. No, thank you.
Awesome.
And so we drive around, and Misty goes to sleep from her Dramamine-induced stupor. And so we're pulling up at Billy's. Anyway, so we're pulling up. We've come all the way around the bay from Dolphin Island. All the way around the bay and up around the north end of the bay, and we're back down on the east end of the bay. And we are pulling up at Billy's Seafood on Bon Secours River. And Josh is like, you know, I was going to like slam on the brakes and wake Misty up or something, but no, Josh is like, no, I'll wake her up. And he's like, Misty, we're at Billy's Seafood. And she jerks up and looks around and goes, why the hell are we there? And then Josh goes, because Brad and Shannon wanted some seafood. And she goes, what, did they go in without us? I'm still driving. I'm sitting right in front of her. We're still driving down the road. She said, well, did they go in to eat without us?
Misty does not say ugly words.
No, never.
No.
So
never.
that's why it was so funny.
Yes.
Yes.
And I've not took another Dramamine since.
She was definitely
She,
yes.
yeah.
All right. So, scariest moment. You got one?
I had one and then I forgot it because we got talking about other things. Oh, skip me.
Okay, I can go. I have one.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Shannon's got it. Go, Shannon.
I don't know if I can say it honestly because it's scary. But give y'all a clue. Alexa is unplugged.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Oh.
I know what you're talking about.
But we went to a place which has already been mentioned,
Yes.
and it felt a little funny while we were there. We enjoyed it, but it still felt something felt off kilter
Little
while we were
hinky.
there. And we kind of ignored it and went on, and we came home, and I don't remember. Something happened with Alexa, but that creeped me out, and
We
I unplug her regularly now.
we asked it about the place.
About that particular
About the same
place.
question I asked while we were there. I asked that woman that question while we was there, and they pretty much shut me down and run me out of the building.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
couldn't get me out of the building fast enough.
Yes, like we were in a we were somewhere maybe we shouldn't have been. Well, actually, I mean, people could go there.
It's open to the public.
It's open to the
just-
public, but
There's
there's other things going on.
It
that we
looks
did not
looks suspect.
see. Yes.
Like, for instance, there was like 5 people working there, and there was about 20 cars in the parking lot. And so we were like, where's the rest of these people at?
Yeah.
But
You feel the creepiness.
yeah, Josh noticed something else and asked about it. And they were like,
No, never.
"No, have a good day." And was
Here's
like,
your change. Get out.
They didn't say get out, but they made
Oh yeah,
made it obvious that
she
you needed
was.
to leave.
She got her demeanor totally changed from, hey, y'all have a good time. Here, go. See you.
I stayed a little paranoid about that, after we got home and asked Alexa about it, and she went dark.
Just cut off.
She went dark.
she literally went boom.
Cut off.
Yeah. She wouldn't even talk about it. So that creeped me out for quite a while afterwards.
Yes.
Well, you remember too on our phones, like where we took pictures of different areas, not necessarily there, but some of the other stuff we took pictures of. It had like sector so and so or
District 23.
District
this
20.
or-
Oh, yeah. I
Had the
forgot about
districts.
that.
I was like,
That made it creepier.
yeah.
Made me think of Hunger Games.
Yep. All right, what
That was
about you,
fun,
Misty?
though.
Scariest moment?
My scariest moment, because it's nobody else's scariest
I know what
moment,
she's gonna
is
say.
crossing all those darn bridges
I was-
and going to Kentucky and
Illinois.
Illinois and wherever else we went. They were little, metal. You could see down to the water.
Grated. They had
It
grates.
was so scary to me. That's the scariest. And then the scariest, it wasn't scary, but it was scary in Blowing Rock, North Carolina, when we had no way home and no way to go but by our feet, knowing I wasn't going to go far.
I think you had a bit of claustrophobia in a way.
Yes, because knowing that
Powerlessness.
you couldn't do nothing. Nothing.
Just sit and
And
wait.
that kind of scared me just because I like to know if something happens, I'm going to get there. Then we couldn't get nowhere.
That's the way I felt on the cruise
So-
ship, so I know how you feel.
Yeah.
I know how you feel.
But it was still a good trip, but that was scary to me.
Yeah.
I was going to say Blowing Rock. Actually, when we were actually on Grandfather Mountain, going up, trying to get to the top, and then the car just kind of went, like, what the heck did the car just do? We're on the side of this mountain. It wasn't really so much scary as it concerned me, and it instantly made my anxiety shoot up a little bit.
And y'all
so-
acted so cool. Well, it was probably so and so.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah.
And I'm flipping out.
It just the high altitude.
Yeah.
And the altitude, I don't know if it had anything to do with it or not, but
Oh, so you were bull crapping the whole time.
just a little bit to just kind of ease it. But I was concerned, like majorly. And then after we got off the mountain, it done fine coming down because we was coasting most of the way. And when
We
we
was
was
running on electric.
driving from the foot of Grandfather Mountain getting to Blowing Rock, and it kind of acted up in a few times, I was just like, oh.
Just as we went into Blowing Rock, too.
Yes, trying to pull out, and it just stuttered, and
That's when I knew we had a problem.
yeah. But that was probably my least favorite, kind of scariest, whatever. But it wasn't scary; it was just very concerning.
And you were powerless again.
Yes.
It's
And
just
then-
the powerlessness of
Yeah.
What you mentioned about the bridges.
it. Yeah.
When we met the freaking truck
That hit the bridge.
on the bridge, and it ran up on it, and just
Holy cow.
and it was a very narrow bridge.
Very,
so narrow.
very
They
narrow.
were very narrow.
Yes. Well, my scariest moment came right after that. You remember we go around through there and we turn and we wound up
Out
in
in
the-
that little dirt road out to nowhere.
Yeah.
and we're on a county road, and then all of a sudden there's no county road and there's nowhere. We're like on a levee that's just wide enough for the truck.
Why did we go down that road?
Because something was supposed to be down there.
We was trying to look at the other side of
The
the
confluence.
confluence or something.
Yeah.
I can't
And so
remember.
the map, Google showed a county road going out there. And even as we're driving out there, just bobbling all over the
Yes.
place, it was still saying it was county road. I can't remember what it was now. But we get out there and we go there's nowhere to turn around or anything, and you go through the wood, and then you start into the woods. Still nowhere to turn around because the trees are so close.
I thought we was going to get stuck turning around because it was muddy.
And then we get out there, and what it was a, I think it was like a power switch box for one of the river markers. But right on the edge of the river, there's a metal hut, And as we're pulling up, the wind blows the door to shut on it. And I
Yeah.
remember going, oh, where's my because
Yes.
I just knew somebody was in that thing. But that was high anxiety for me.
Let's see if I can
Yes.
find it over here. Yeah, that was a little sketchy driving out on that.
And I know there's some things we've missed.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I know there
And
is.
I was also thinking about the night that, this wasn't really a trip. It was just us going to. We were all at Cabela's, and I think you were looking at a gun. I don't know if you were buying it, but when the dude was
Yes.
following Micah around,
Yes.
and I just happened to, he wouldn't quit talking to her and stuff, and I happened to walk by, and I thought, well, this must be somebody
Well, when
they
she
know or
seen
something.
you, she just followed you.
Well, no, when she saw me, when I walked by, she just gave me a look, and it made me go, wait. And so I just kind of stepped around behind the guy and started looking at shirts and stuff. And then she tried to leave, and he started following her and kept talking to her and everything. So, she ended up coming back there with you with the
Yeah.
guns.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because
then,
she knew I was armed anyway.
yeah, and then the guy was kept following. Like, I just followed both of them and stayed back behind him. He didn't have any idea I was anywhere around. But I just, we went there, and I stepped across the main aisle and was over in the ammo behind y'all watching, and she was trying to get your attention, and you were talking
Well,
to the
she
gun guy.
pretty much walked up between me and the counter.
Yeah.
Like, she was like right there.
Yeah, and I was standing
That was
back watching,
scary.
and that guy walked by about 4 or 5 different times.
I think she walked up close enough that I think I put my arm around her and asked her what she was doing or something.
Yeah. All right.
And the dude had gloves on.
Yeah.
Wore gloves
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Sketchy.
Yep. All right, Shan. What about you? Favorite meal?
Captain Louis.
Oh,
That's my
yes.
favorite meal. I'd first picked our first trip to Bravo because I just loved that first meal at Bravo. And almost every meal thereafter, it's just too expensive to eat there now. But Captain Louis, the first trip to Captain Louis.
And where is Captain Louis?
It's in Madison, Alabama.
On Highway 72, right in front of the Super Walmart.
I guess. I don't know.
I think it is in front of Walmart.
Yep.
You got to make sure you tell where it's at,
I
Shannon.
know,
remember?
but it's in
so
the
people that
it's
listen
in
to this
that
can go.
new area. What's that new area called?
No, it's not part of the Cliff Farms.
Oh,
or
is it
whatever.
not?
No, I don't think it is.
No, it's
Okay.
further down.
Captain Louis. Go there.
County Road 205.
Make sure you get the garlic
Maybe
noodles.
County Road.
And the Captain Louis sauce. Get it.
Yes, very good. What about you, Misty? Favorite meal?
My favorite meal, which is hard, but
Very.
I love the Napoleon shrimp and the house salad at Bravo. And I love the tomato pie at Wildflower in Mentone. And I like Rock House too. I love their Alfredo at Rock House.
We don't mention Rock House enough, but it's
It's a good place
staple.
to eat.
I mean, it's always good.
Yeah.
It's always good. I always love to go there.
What about
And
you, Josh?
I like the pizza at BJ's too.
Well, I've got we was talking about, using the wrong terminology. But Missy said the shrimp Napoleon. But it's actually shrimp Napoli.
Sorry, I knew it was that, but
We call it shrimp Napoleon just because that's the way we are. Now the favorite place to eat, that's hard for me. Bravo, I used to always love Bravo because
You may have to do a before,
yeah,
after
exactly.
gal, and after.
I would say before it probably was Bravo, because the fillet there is fantastic. I always got it. Never got nothing else. But after one of our Bite Me expedition trips, my culinary cuisine choices had to change because I can no longer eat red meat. So Captain Louis, fantastic. Let me see what I put down for my favorite. I can't even remember.
I think the story about his Alpha Gals on another
Let's
podcast,
see.
isn't it?
Favorite,
Yes, we've
favorite
talked
meal.
about that.
I never wrote nothing down on favorite meal because I can't pin nothing down.
Well,
That's probably-
Misty did good. She picked certain dishes from certain places. That's a good idea.
It's
Well-
probably episode 6 or 7. This is probably going to be episode 8.
Okay, so 2 episodes
No.
ago.
No. We've already got an episode 8. Episode 8 was canoeing in Alabama River
Oh yeah.
with the Bite Me gang.
And you might have to edit out. You said it was a minute ago. I think
Yeah.
Oh yeah. About when
Well, you said. I think you said carrying. So anyway,
the
you have to
guy
edit that out.
at the Cabela's.
Yep. I'll put a low honk in there.
But Bravo was probably my favorite meal before, and after. Cajun Steamer, I've always liked Cajun
Yeah.
Steamer. Captain Louis is fantastic. But as far as picking one perfect one, I can't.
I'm the same way.
Because I've got so many different places I like to eat.
That's the way I am. Probably, I guess we got to give a shout out to the fact that our most frequent restaurant is Lamone's.
Lamont,
Yeah, that's
baby.
true.
Henniger, Alabama.
Yes, because we're
Yes.
there. We're there a lot.
It's
Great
like our
folks.
home.
Yeah, great folks. It's like our home field. But I probably say my most memorable meal is probably the big thick pork chops from
I
Patty's.
was wondering if I was going to say that.
Just because I remember ordering them thinking these things are going to be so tough. Because how do you cook a pork chop that thick and it not be tough? You didn't need a knife. You just took your fork.
Yeah.
And
Man, them things is good.
they were so
Well, not
good.
just that. Patties, that's what we're talking about in Kentucky.
Patty's 1880 settlement.
The bread in the flower pot.
Yep.
Y'all remember that?
Yes, in that ceramic flower
Jay,
pot.
that was Jace. Jace was in heaven.
With
when
the
he
strawberry
saw-
butter.
Yes, he was in heaven when he had that thing of bread in the flower pot.
That was good.
That's a good place. That was a fun trip, and it was hard to pick.
Yep. All right.
Over
What
that
about
one.
favorite restaurant ambiance?
Oh.
For me, it's always by the water, usually. So it's hard. It's really hard, y'all. Patty's had great ambiance.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hometown restaurant
Which now
um,
that one burned. They've built
Yeah.
a new one.
that we haven't visited.
We
I
haven't
wonder,
visited
I wonder
the
if it'd
new
be
one.
the same now.
I
If
don't
they
know.
build it back
It
similar.
looks like it is, but maybe we need to go try that.
Yeah,
Might need to go back.
Why can't I think of a place? Because that's my favorite thing about a restaurant is the ambiance and the people, the conversation.
I don't
And
have I don't have an
can't-
answer for this question.
Can't
Okay,
think, so
I
maybe
do.
y'all can,
Misty does.
y'all can.
My most favorite restaurant was at Aqua when we went to Mississippi, just because we were right there at
Oh
it.
yeah.
And we sat by the river.
Watch
and
the
watched the
fish.
fish and the turtles
Well,
and the
I
boats.
thought of that place a while ago when
I
she was
thought of
talking
it
about
too, but I
Bible.
didn't
I
write
couldn't
it down.
remember the name of it.
It's
It was
Aqua.
Aqua.
Oh,
Aqua.
it's Aqua something, but I have always wanted to go back there, but we never have because I forget about it. But that is my most favorite restaurant.
That was wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the place I was thinking of because of the fish and everything right there. But I could not remember the name of it. I was going to say in Mississippi.
I actually looked it up.
I was going to say in Mississippi.
Yeah.
That was that on a damn trip?
No,
We went to Paducah Dam. Not Paducah, Pickwick.
Pickwick.
We went to
Pickwick.
Pickwick Dam.
Okay.
We have why we've done this. But we have visited every dam on the Tennessee River, and then we took a dam road trip where we visited 21 dams.
A lot of the feeder dams to
Yeah,
the Tennessee
a lot
River.
a lot of them. Now
There's a
I think
bunch.
Scotty told me there's 39 feeder dams
Yeah.
besides the ones.
And
Yeah.
why are the dams important to us? Tell the audience.
The very first time not the first time we ate together as a group, but we went to eat. We ate in Guntersville, and then we went to Huntsville.
We ate at the Rock House.
Ate at the Rock House. And we went to went to Huntsville for dessert. And halfway in between is the Guntersville Lock and Dam. And we pulled in, and we were driving around, and there was an armadillo there. And so we talked about it a little bit, and all this. And then the next weekend, or maybe it was vice versa. But anyway, Keisha was with us the next weekend.
She was with us when we went to the melting pot.
Yes, so
Yeah.
that was when we ate dessert in Huntsville. So
Yeah.
the first time we ate in Huntsville and ate supper in Huntsville and then dessert in Gunnersville. The next weekend we went to Gunnersville, ate supper, and then we went to Huntsville to eat dessert. And on the way we stopped in at the dam again. And I had said something about if you scare an armadillo.
'Cause we
it will
seen an
jump.
armadillo out
We
there.
saw an armadillo again. And I said something about if you scare an armadillo, it'll jump. And I think one of you two didn't believe me. I think it was probably you. And so I got
I
out.
just wanted
and-
to see it.
Me
got
and
out.
you both got out to scare it.
and I threw a rock and hit it, and it jumped up really high. And I think they about peed their pants. They were laughing so hard. And so,
We were.
Yeah, it don't take much.
It don't take
and
much.
so we go on and we're eating dessert, and we were talking about it, and I don't know who said it. Said something about we need to name our supper club, and I think Keisha's the one that said Jumpin Armadillo. And so it became the Jumpin' Armadillo Dinner Club. And I mean, y'all, we had, it's
yeah.
still out there, Instagram and everything, but it got to the point that it was really getting to be pressure because, like, I had a student come up to me, and they had opened a new restaurant in a town close to us, and she was working there. And she came up to me and was like, so we're having to do special training to identify the jumping armadillos when they come in to try our restaurant. And I was
Because we would rate restaurants at
we'd
that
rate,
time.
yeah, at the time we were rating
We would not
restaurants.
we'd never be ugly.
No.
If we didn't like the restaurant, we just wouldn't say anything really.
Right.
But-
And so
The armadillo got ran over that night.
Yeah.
and
That's
so
all we would say.
we would just be like, but anyway, so it got to the point that restaurants were like training their employees to watch out for us.
And we were just having fun.
Yeah.
We were
it was just fun for
it was
us.
just
for fun.
fun. We had no idea
No.
that we were getting to that point, and that's not what we wanted.
No, not at all.
And COVID put a pretty good stop to
Yeah.
a lot of armadilloing too.
For a while.
But then we would cook
Yeah.
and come here and eat.
Mm-hmm.
And that was good too.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just the conversation. That's all that matters.
Did you say your favorite
we would
ambiance?
actually
I
go,
haven't yet.
we would order out when we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when we ate by the dam?
Right.
Well, yeah,
Or by
because
the
we
lake.
went to order Bravo one time and we drove
Yeah.
to the lake and ate.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking probably the kind of the cool ambiance was 360 Grill in Florence, Alabama.
Oh,
Oh, how did we
how
forget
can
that?
you forget
you know-
that one?
Even though we was probably a mile or more away from the water, we was a good ways away from the water. This restaurant is in a tower, and it actually spins, but the spin function wasn't working that night. But we said we just want to be seated to where we can see the dam, and we were actually sitting in the restaurant looking out at Wilson Dam,
Yep, that was cool.
and it was a pretty cool place. I just wish it had been spinning, but
But also, it was dry. I would like to go back when there's water.
Yes.
I mean, it was dry as a bone.
Yeah.
Very dry.
That dam.
And that's when I fell in love with Florence, Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah, Florence.
It's a
fun.
beautiful little
We went to the
city.
campus and everything.
Yeah, that's the night that I bought that camera. We stopped
Well.
on the way and bought that camera. All right.
Unclaimed baggage.
it unclaimed baggage.
At Unclaimed Baggage, another of our. I like the Patty's ambiance. I guess I would have gone with that, but that particular restaurant burned down, so it would be hard for me to say now.
And I know that there's other places.
Oh,
I tried to look
yes.
through
Oh, yes.
the pictures, and I got so distracted because there's so many photos.
Yes.
Yep. All right, Shannon. Favorite hotel or VRBO? Just one.
I loved the cabin in December. I loved sleeping in the loft and watching the fire. And the cabin itself wasn't breathtaking. The vacation was just a let's go find the snow vacation. But I could have laid in the loft all night and looked at that fire. That was so peaceful. It was so peaceful to me.
That was a peaceful trip.
And I needed that at that time. So that was our last trip, but that's the one that's sticking as far as the RBO goes. And I think the only other one was in Charleston, right? This second trip.
Well, you could do a hotel or a VRBO.
I can't think of a hotel. I mean,
Or-
Blowing Rock was pretty, but it was stressful. That was a pretty hotel, but it was very stressful. I can't think. I mean, we like our Hilton properties, our Hampton Inns, the one in Pigeon Forge. It was really pretty.
Okay. What about you?
Mine was for the VBRO. It was Wares Valley Cabin. Did I say that right?
Yeah. The one we was at.
RBO.
VRBO.
VR, Verbo.
Where's Valley Cabin?
Well, that's where it was in
That's
the
December.
one in December.
I don't know the
'Cause
name
we
of
was-
it, but we were in the Wares.
It was
we were
the-
in Wares
We
Valley.
went up to Wares Valley.
Because that was just only if we would have brought our game to play.
Yeah. I wish we had games.
But it was nice and peaceful
We just got to sit around and watch TV and just relax.
Yes.
Relax.
and look at our
It was
phones.
nice,
And
yeah.
then I like the Hilton in Pigeon Forge because you could see all of the lights in Pigeon Forge from our hotel room.
When we done the damn trip.
And also like the vacation hotel because we
Yes.
had the view of the bay.
I was going to say that. I thought of that one earlier, drinking coffee and
Yes.
looking at the bay.
Mhm.
That was,
That was a beautiful
we
one.
couldn't see the bay from our room, but you guys could, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But drinking coffee and looking at the bay,
Yes.
that wasn't the greatest hotel, but that was a
No, but
great
it
view.
had a pretty view.
Yes.
So that's
And
mine.
Daphne. It was Hampton Inn
Daphne,
and
yeah.
Daphne. Is it even?
It's on the bay.
Is it
That's where
still
we
there?
stayed.
I couldn't remember.
That's the same place we stayed, Shannon, when we went to summer conference
I
year
know,
before
but
last.
is it
Was
still
it-
there?
was it
Because
in
you tried to
Daphne?
find it last year.
No,
and
I
it,
I thought it was in.
No, you didn't want to stay there last year, so we
It was
stayed
in
at the
Daphne.
VRBO.
it was in Daphne.
Yeah,
And we met
Josh,
Your
not
cousin.
your
Josh.
cousins
Yeah.
in Mobile to eat.
Yeah, we ate at
No, Fairhope, right?
Fairhope?
Fairhope.
I don't know.
Was it Fairhope?
We met
What is his name?
Douglas,
Doug.
and his
Douglas.
family and ate supper with them one night
At
Yeah.
while we were on there. I don't know the name of the place.
I cannot think of the name of the place.
But that hotel, that had the prettiest view too.
Mm-hmm.
View is all
I'm
about.
gonna say Felix's, but I know
hotels.
it wasn't Felix's.
No,
No.
Felix's is on.
It's on the
Causeway.
causeway between Mobile.
My favorite hotel is going to be the. I can't. I mean, the cabin was awesome. The VRBO.
You skipped me.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
But you can go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
You come back to me
No, go ahead.
because I'm looking for something.
She's looking for something. Go ahead.
Okay, so mine was the Hampton Inn on the Dam to Dam trip because we used our points, but then when we got there, they upgraded us, and so we got a suite for free. So that was my favorite.
Yeah.
And it was pretty.
It was very
had
nice.
Fireplace and rock. And it was really
Yeah,
great.
it was a very nice hotel, and I liked, like Misty said, we could look out the window and just see all of
So
Pigeon
that's
Forge.
three of us that's mentioned that hotel.
All right, what you got, Josh?
I kind of like that one place we stayed. The first trip to Charleston, that hotel,
The True.
The True.
the True, and I enjoyed it. I mean, it was really nice. And
I think it was brand new.
even though it was located in kind of in the middle of town, I just liked it. It was easy to get in and out of. wasn't real busy, wasn't
Right.
loud,
It was not.
but I also love the cabin and the
That's because that
Smokies.
was still COVID was
Yes.
lingering.
Yeah.
No, that was in the heart of COVID
Was
when
it?
you were in South and North Carolina.
They were
Remember,
still
North
pretty-
Carolina was still completely shut
That's
down,
right.
And
We-
they had the bag
and-
breakfast.
and we
Yeah.
had to. We had to drive around Atlanta, so we ended up going up through Asheville and all the way
and
around.
all that was shut down.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, and everything up there was shut down. A lot of South Carolina was.
Was that when we came back through and ate at the old meal?
Yes.
Yes, and the
In Pigeon
skunks.
Forge?
They had
Yeah,
the little
baby
babies, all the
skunks,
baby
yeah.
skunks.
Yeah, that's the thing about the armadillos. You just can't really.
There's no telling where we're going to
There's
end up.
just no telling, and I think that's the beauty of it. But you know,
Okay.
if you don't like spur of the moment, you don't like to be with us.
What about you?
Josh didn't get to do his, did he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I
He
just
just
done
did.
the hotel in
Okay.
Charleston.
What about memorable moment?
Oh.
Mm.
Well, I told you the bridge.
Okay, so you've already answered that question.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
It's
was
another one of
cool.
those impossible things.
Mhm.
But, I combined both Charleston trips, and because I loved being on that Ravenel Bridge at night.
That was pretty cool.
But to pick one memorable moment would be Blossom.
Yeah.
That was great. Misty wasn't with us though.
No,
So,
because I'm
she
not
don't do
walking
bridges.
across the bridge.
She didn't want to walk on the bridge, but she would have been fine if
Yeah,
she
I
had a
mean-
went.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Misty?
Well, it wasn't a trip, and we didn't eat, but the most important thing to me was when we planned to go somewhere every Saturday, and Micah decided that I thought she had a pulled muscle in her neck, so we were trying to decide if we were going to get to eat or not. Well, ended up Micah had emergency brain surgery, but my Armadillo friends were there that Friday night with us, and that is my most
Oh,
memorable, because they didn't have to come. I mean, we didn't even know what was going on in our life at that time. Well, I didn't. And they were there with us through the confusion of the wrong room, putting us to the right room, putting us in it was just scary.
terribly scary.
And they were
situation.
there for us, and that's what is memorable to me, even though it's not eating or staying the night anywhere, but just them being there. And then Micah was wanting Josh to read to her because that is what calmed her, and they had to go buy us a book because we didn't leave the hospital, and they brought the book to us that night that she needed it.
I forgot all about that.
Then I read part of it, and she's like, "I don't like that. Don't read that to me." And I wound up, and I had a truck magazine. I don't even remember. Did y'all get the truck magazine too? I had to read articles out of a truck magazine to her.
We got that for you, but I'm glad she enjoyed it.
But
Yeah.
it's just stuff like that the armadillos also do. It's not. We do have fun all the time,
Yeah.
but
Just
it's
being together.
Just being together. No matter if it's sitting like one night we came over here and I wore my Halloween pajamas because we've been doing nothing, and I just wore my Halloween pajamas over.
Yep.
It's those kind of things too that the armadillos do.
It means a lot to me
Yeah.
too.
All right. What about you, Josh? Favorite or memorable moment?
That is hard. It was pretty memorable up on Gunner Fella Mountain when the car tore up. That's pretty hard to forget.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are we going to do?
Yeah, that would.
That,
One of them just cut off.
I
don't
think
know
it was
which
this one.
one. Oh, it's mine. Good.
Yeah, that was pretty memorable. But
We'll never forget that one.
We really don't forget any of them
I
because
know.
something crazy happens on all
well,
of them.
we only forget them when we're tasked with remembering them.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't think of nothing else. Well, there's some funny bits, and this is pretty memorable, and it's pretty funny too. When we pulled up at the USS Alabama,
Not me.
No, it was Micah this
same trip with Misty and Billy.
Don't slam a table. It's very loud.
But we pulled up the USS Alabama and pulled over. I don't even know why we stopped at first. Why we stopped, Mike was like, the Chlamydia Jane. And we was like, what? And it was a plane there at the Alabama on display. It's the Calamity Jane. But
A bomber.
Micah and her mispronunciation said chlamydia. That was another good life.
It's our best lives when we say words wrong.
And it's always when we say words wrong.
Yeah.
Every time.
Every time.
Yes.
My memorable moment would have to be, well, it wouldn't have to be, but it's just one that sticks out in my brain, is going to the Gunnersville Dam during the floods.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Yes. That was unbelievable.
Yes, it was.
I have a really good picture of us
Yeah.
from overhead. We were having great fun too. We were enjoying ourselves.
Yes, we were.
That was a before picture for me.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody got anything else to add?
I do. I have another question. Where would you like to see the armadillos go next?
That is always the question. We have one planned, and then we've changed it maybe 4 or 5 times, and then we always go to something else because you never know where we're going to
You
end
never
up.
know. I mean, that's the thing about us.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know where
planning is not. We sort of plan,
we try to plan.
and then the car tears up on the side of Grandfather Mountain.
Or we plan and turn out to go some totally different.
Yeah.
Well, we do that too.
Where will we go next?
Where do you want to go next? Do you have a want to?
You know, the trip that we've been talking about for about 2.5, 3 years now to Maine. That's interesting. We talked about a trip out west. That's interesting.
Driving Highway 11
Yeah, driving Highway 11. That's
up to Michigan.
No, the 31 goes to Michigan.
Yeah.
11 goes through New York State into Canada.
Oh, okay.
I want us to cross the border. I want to see the armadillos go to another country.
Well, if we
It'll
went
be
to
Canada because I'm not going to Mexico. I mean, I would.
I was going to say you wouldn't go to Mexico with the
Yeah,
Lamons.
I would go. I would go to down there with
I
them.
wish they would sponsor us a trip to the
Yeah,
Lamont
I told
City.
Jace actually last week. I said I would love it. Hint, hint. If they would, just take
Invite us,
I mean,
too.
just take
Just
us,
invite us.
immerse us in the culture. Yeah, just as long as I had them with me, I
Yes.
wouldn't worry about it.
Me either.
Yeah, I would definitely go down there.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't be a driving across the border. That'd be a flying across the border.
Yes. No, I don't want to try.
No, I don't want to drive.
Now, if you drive, I want to go to Canada to drive.
And I just want to see all 50 states, so I don't care. How many states after, sorry, I'll ask after everybody answers. Josh, your turn.
My next trip.
Mm-hmm. Where would
Well,
you
I
want
definitely,
to go next?
I want to go to Canada. I'd like to go to Mexico, down where they're from, the Lamons are from. But I also either want to go to Ireland or Scotland.
Oh yeah.
And I would love to go to Ireland or Scotland.
But if we have to save up for that.
Oh, yeah.
That can't be our next
But
trip.
like in country, I still like to go to Maine, swing through maybe, and then we can hit Canada. when
Yeah,
we're
hit
doing that.
Canada.
So I'd still like to do
The
that.
flying road trip up there.
And after watching Crow on some of his recent videos, he's been to Jackson Hole where we had talked about going, but he went during warmer weather.
Yeah.
And stuff, but we're just gonna go and snowmobile.
Mm-hmm.
And then another YouTuber that I watch all the time, he went out there and he just put a video up. That was in Montana, but in part of the clip there was one of them big old 4-wheel drive buses. There's a Yellowstone bus that goes to the Yellowstone Park. And I'm like, well, he's got to be close to Yellowstone where he's at in Montana snowmobiling.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of would still like to go do that.
I just want to go.
Me too.
Anywhere.
Want to go?
Yep.
I'm still trying to figure out where we ate with them.
Was it a barbecue place with a pig?
It
in
was
the
a,
name?
it was a fish place.
Okay.
It's like a seafood place, I think.
Yep.
Which one? I can't remember what you're talking about.
On the
Doug-
vacation when we were with
Oh.
Douglas,
I thought it started
Hello,
with a
Finn.
C.
it
There's
did.
no way in
It
this
did
world I
start
can
with a C.
remember. I know.
All right. Anybody got,
Cravers. It was Cravers.
Yes.
Okay.
anybody got anything else? If not, I mean, we've been going for an hour. So we could just about divide this up into 3
Yeah.
different ones, which would
Yeah.
totally
Mess it up.
mess up my,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would
'Cause-
mess up the whole podcast.
Yeah.
It's got to
Yeah.
stay together.
Oh, okay. It will take me days of editing to have 4 channels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cameras. Oh my gosh.
That'll be okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else, we will go ahead and close this one out. So that is so loud.
Let's wait and watch
Okay.
where we go next.
Yep. All right. Stay tuned for next week.
Bye, everybody.
See you later. Love you. Bye.
All right, folks, thanks for tuning in for this episode of Pine Thicket Philosophies. Tune in next time as we continue to live by our motto, even bad adventures make great stories.